We have a very active situation in the tropics. Grace is headed for Mexico, and Henri is a significant threat to New England. I'm Mike Naso with this late night update Thursday night. By the time you see it, it might be early Friday. The 11 p.m. updates are out on Grace and Henri. You can see them here on the satellite imagery. Grace made landfall as a hurricane over the Yucatan Peninsula, weakened to a tropical storm cut across, but in these thunderstorms there are strong winds closing in on hurricane force again. Grace should once again become a hurricane and slam into Mexico. Henri is bursting here, still getting sheared from the north. However, it looks to be more and more of a threat to New England, and the Hurricane Center now has it making landfall in Massachusetts. This is going to quickly become the main story. But let's start with Grace. Now, Grace, this is as of 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern. Tropical Storm Grace was at 20.8 north, 91.8 west, winds of 65. Again, mostly to the northeast here of the center. The wind field has definitely expanded, and it's moving west at 16. The Air Force has been flying out there recording gusty winds. Looks like it's going to become a hurricane probably overnight or early on Friday. And then by late Friday night, early Saturday morning, make landfall here along the mid-Mexican coastline. We do have a hurricane warning from Puerto Veracruz to Cabo Rojo, and a tropical storm warning still for the Yucatan Peninsula from Progresso to Campeche, and from the mainland Mexican coast from north of Cabo Rojo to Barra del Tordo. And that's all because of this wind field here of tropical storm winds still impacting the Yucatan and then coming ashore when the hurricane makes landfall, when it becomes a hurricane again in the mid-Mexican coastline. So even though it's kind of written on the wall, there's the model guidance. You can see cutting it straight across Mexico, maybe even off into the Pacific. We'll see what's left of it by that time when it crosses those mountains. Here's the infrared satellite imagery, and you can see it has a shape many hurricanes get when they cross the Yucatan. They kind of get this skeletonized look, and then the thunderstorms build and probably burst, and then you'll see an eye try and form, and it will make landfall as a hurricane. In the general vicinity, it looks like of Tampico over here, but again, anybody even down south towards Veracruz, you guys need to watch it. You never know if this high pressure will bump Grace a little more towards the southwest prior to landfall. Nevertheless, definitely an August hurricane hit on Mexico there along the Yucatan. A lot of gusty winds. Storm chaser Joss Morgerman, he recorded 978 millibars. So that's a pretty low pressure, and it looks like it's going to strengthen once more before landfall in Mexico. We will continue to cover that. Here's the key messages. Hurricane conditions and dangerous surge are likely along the eastern mainland Mexico coast beginning late Friday. We have that hurricane warning out. And through the weekend, heavy rainfall across Veracruz, Puebla, and other areas there along the Mexican coastline. And that will cause urban and flash flooding along with the likelihood of mudslides. So again, a very dangerous situation with any hurricane landfall in Mexico, especially with heavy rain. So we're going to watch that. Here's the latest in Spanish for our Spanish-speaking audience, if you guys want to pause it there and get the latest there on Grace. Now, looking past Grace, you can't really tell on this satellite imagery, we have our other system. It's off the screen here. There's a better look at it. This is Tropical Storm Henri, and even though it's not a hurricane and it's still getting sheared from the north, this could cause major problems for the New England area in just the next couple of days. Here's the latest on Henri as of 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Henri was at 29.8 north, 72.3 west. Winds also, like Grace, 65 miles per hour, a strong tropical storm. The estimated motion is west-northwest at 8. The Hurricane Center notes it's kind of hard when it's bursting to really tell. We don't have like an eye-type feature to track. But the forecast has it moving to the north, and here's what's going to happen. I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. You have ridging to the north. Clockwise flow, high-pressure ridge. That's been steering Henri off towards the west-northwest. That's going to break down as this troughiness comes off the east coast. That will cause Henri to move over the warm Gulf Stream waters in a more favorable environment, become a hurricane by Saturday, and accelerate towards the north. However, There will be more ridging building back in, which should prevent Henri from being able to just move northeast like most systems do in that circumstance. And we'll have a negatively tilted trough, which means it's going to be kind of moving northwest to southeast direction, and that should allow the flow to push Henri more northwest. And that is why the Hurricane Center now has a landfall in Massachusetts. But again, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Long Island, you guys are directly in the middle of that cone. After that, we should eventually see a slowdown by Monday and Tuesday and get Henri out of here. But again, right now the forecast has a landfall in New England, if not of a hurricane, pretty darn close. And it could be stronger, especially over the waters. So this is a serious thing we got going on here. These are the GFS ensembles as of 18Z. They're slamming it right into Long Island and Block Island Sound and all those areas there. And then look at this. This is the European, same type of deal. So we're beginning to have pretty good model agreement that this system will impact New England. And so anybody in that area from Delaware all the way up to Maine, I want you guys to start overlooking your hurricane plans in case Henri makes his way towards you. Now here's the H-Wharf model as of 18Z. You can see it makes Henri a hurricane, and look what happens to it. Boom! Right over Nantucket and Cape Cod as a landfall sometime, this is on Monday, so late Sunday into Monday. Now this is the hurricane model, the HMON. You can see what it does. Again, boom! This time a little further west over Martha's Vineyard. But still, what a slamming. And this would also be on Monday. So this doesn't give us a whole lot of time to prepare. I mean, it's Friday now by the time you see this update. Late night Thursday, early Friday. So you got Friday, but by the time you go back to work Monday morning, you could have a hurricane over Boston. So this is why you guys along the coast always need to have a plan, because you never know if it's going to go to New England, you never know if it's going to go to Miami, or like Grace, Mexico. Here's the GFS model. You can see it takes Grace down here into Mexico. This is the entire Atlantic. This was the 18Z run, and look at that, just slams it right into areas there of Massachusetts, and then beyond that, kind of brings it on off towards the east and out of here, and then you can see we have more systems in the future there by early September, a powerful, powerful hurricane in the Western Caribbean. I only note that to remind you we're getting towards the heart of the season, and it's shown a hurricane in the Caribbean now, first week of September for a couple of runs. So that'll be something to have to deal with. If you are in the area there of New England, the most likely arrival time of tropical storm winds would be Sunday morning, maybe even before that on Long Island. So, Long Island, Connecticut, Providence, Block Island Sound, Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, Cape Cod. Get those boats in, start getting ready, because this could be a situation we got to deal with. And you're going to see the media hype it, so stay tuned to these updates to get more information. You can see the wind shears decreasing ahead of it, so that's going to create that better environment. And look at this. Look at this tongue of water from the Gulf Stream that sticks out right there. And if Henri crosses that, yeah, the waters get much, much cooler. But if this is a 100-mile-an-hour hurricane, 90, 100 miles an hour, accelerating, that's only going to add to the wind. Remember Bob back in 91? Same type of deal. It's been 30 years since something hit Long Island and that area there in Connecticut, Rhode Island. But again, you guys are always at risk. You never know. So we're going to watch this very carefully. You can see there it is on the right-hand side of the screen bursting. And we still have a couple of days, but not that many days. So that's why it's so important that you keep tuned to the National Hurricane Center, as well as these updates. Like, subscribe, share them all you like, and we'll try and get the latest on Henri. And there's obviously Grace, going to be a hurricane as it heads towards Mexico. Grace will be out of here. We're still going to have to deal with Henri. Little trivia for you if you're interested. The perfect storm back in 91, the one that left George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg floating out there, very tragic. That was a hurricane, but it was kind of a posthumous hurricane. Had we given it a name on the 1991 name list, that was Henri. So it's a little bit eerie there that the perfect storm hurricane, had it been given a name, would have been Henri. And now we're dealing with an Henri that could impact New England. So just a little bit of, I don't know, I don't know, this storm's bothering me. I think it could be a problem. So I want you guys to watch it very carefully. We're going to zero in on it as time goes by. And sleep tight. I will talk to you guys later with more as Grace heads towards Mexico and Henri becomes more and more of a significant threat to New England. Talk to you guys next time.